Welcome to That One Time with Adam Metwally. This week's episode is with Ian Moss from the Ian Moss Band and Cold Chisel, and we'll be going to get to know him over the next 10 minutes ahead of the full episode later on this week. Hi, Ian. Thanks for joining me.
Adam, how are you and where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. Welcome. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming on. So who are you? What are you best known for? And for somebody who doesn't know you, why should they listen today?
Okay, my name is Ian Moss. Born in Alice Springs in centre of Australia. Guitar player, probably best known for the lead guitar player or the guitar player for Cold Chisel. But that was first out of the blocks, and then solo career with albums like Matchbook. And what was the third part?
And why? And for somebody who doesn't know you, why should they listen today?
I'd like to think there's a lot of interesting history. I've been made a lot of music with both Cold Chisel and myself, and would like to think in amongst that there's some pretty worthwhile work done.
Awesome. So what was your first gig?
Very first gig really was, I'd have to say, I'm 15 years old in Alice Springs. The local hotshot band, I can't remember, I think they're called The Scene. And I never did figure out if that was S-E-N or S-C-E-N-E. Were decided they wanted a rhythm guitar player. Auditioned me. I thought I might do it. And I had an acoustic guitar with some pickup across the hole. Got no idea what it was or anything like that. And I didn't have an amplifier. And I plugged into the spare channel on the bass player's Golden Tone, good old Aussie brand amplifier. And away we went with, interesting evening.
Love that. And what was your best gig?
Oh, God, that's pretty hard. One of the most enjoyable and memorable gigs is actually being on tour in the United States with Cold Chisel. And we're in Austin, Texas for the Tornado Jam, which is a one-day festival kind of thing just outside the city. And we were the only outside band. I think every other band were definitely the only Australian band. I think most of the other bands actually were resident of Austin, included greats like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Delbert McClinton, Joe Eli, Fabulous Thunderbirds. And on that day, I remember arriving in the afternoon and somebody was already playing, arriving backstage. Somebody's playing away. I said, well, here we go again, another brilliant guitar player on stage. I wonder who it is, and went to try and have a look, but they weren't letting anyone else up on stage. But peering over the top, I could see this hat, which turned out to be the trademark hat of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Nice.
So that was about 1981, so well before he shot to, well-knownness with on David Bowie's Let's Dance and tracks like that.
Cool. Nice. And what was your weirdest gig?
A
few.
Yeah. I'll think of some better answers.
That's okay
for this, but just think some really pretty bit on the rough side. I remember a gig somewhere up the northern coast. I don't know where it was. Somewhere between here and Cross Harbour. Somebody promoters who I think they were new at it and were trying to run a festival, and it was just a bit kind of we were rough around the edges in so many ways. It was just interesting when I can't remember what it was a bike gang roll up and said, "No, we're not paying to get in," and there's absolutely no one there was going to stop them.
Oh, did they start a mosh pit?
No, actually, I mean they sort of camped themselves up the back most of the time, and we're good, stayed out of people's way, pretty much. But at some stage, I think Jim, in good heart of spirit, sort of yelled out something about, the bike is at the back. It was meant to. It was a bit of a stir, but it was like it was all heartfelt and good. And next time we saw this bike come down the back, full speed down the front, and some guys across, 2 guys on it were going, yeah, good on you. But we're like, oh shit, what's going to happen here?
Oh, that's so fun. I love it. So next question is, what book has changed your life the most?
Finally getting my head out of rock and roll and starting to learn to read books. You got things like Wild Swans, more, I've forgotten the author. That's, the Chinese lady growing up in communist China and going all the changes.
Zhang Chang?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Fisk, the history. It's a long title. Essentially about the last 100 years history of the Middle East, the Great War for Civilization, a history of the Middle East, something like that.
Yeah, the Great War for Civilization, the conquest of the Middle East. Got it here.
Conquest, that's the one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like, wow. Yeah, I still think about some of the descriptions of what people can do to people in that. And you go, that wasn't a fictional book. You can't sort of say, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
Frightening stuff. And we're not getting any better, are we?
Not at all. I mean, it's human nature, right? Never quite ends. So what sub $100 purchase have you made that's changed your life?
God, it might sound like a bit of a dumb answer, but
there's no dumb answers.
Getting some great delays and reverbs happening, best I've ever heard. Using as a Behringer, I think is a brand of these pedals.
Yeah,
and they've got everyone scoffs and goes, it does all this stuff. If you mention using it, and they pronounce it Behringer, which shits me. Not German, but I'm pretty sure it'll be something more like Behringer. These things can sound brilliant. Then they might not all, but they can, and these particular 2 do, and they're definitely sub 100. That's Australian dollars.
Great, and that's it. It's not going very far at the moment.
No, but the way the US is going, maybe we'll get back to parity soon with the trade war.
Let's see how we go. It's I'm locking in for what's next. So a couple more on the rapid fire, and we'll move into the full episode. What's one weird daily practice you swear by, even though people think it's strange?
It's just a thing I do. It's a habit. If I don't do it every morning, is I splash my face heavily with water as hot as I can possibly stand it, and then bang, do exactly the same thing with scoops and scoops of cold water. I mean, ideally, I'd actually probably remember Paul Newman doing it in the movies. It was kind of thing. He'd fill a bucket with ice and water and dip his whole head, hang his whole head in there for a few minutes.
It's a thing.
I don't know. I just feel like it's just good for the skin.
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
And that's something. If I don't do it every day, I miss it. All day I go, shit, I forgot something to do.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good one. It's definitely a thing.
What are you going to say?
No, yeah, I do the same thing. Cold plunge sauna. That's my little life trick at the moment. Going between the two.
Well, I agree. Particularly if you've done a workout of some kind, it's just fantastic to drop in ice cold plunge and back into the sauna, then back. Yeah. Cheers.
That's a light version. I love it. What advice do you wish you'd received and actually believed when you were 18?
Oh, I just think that probably like get stuck into all styles of guitar in theory now, and I probably would have gone a lot harder with jazz. I think not necessarily to be a jazz player, but to be able to sort of, that's my one regret is that got stuck in at the time. There was just it was just a peer pressure and people's fears and stuff. Oh no, if you start learning jazz, you end up being this really mellow, sort of subdued, fireless kind of. No good for rock and roll, mate. It's got to be. So yeah, I wish I'd ignored that and just gone, because that's what everyone does these days. There's so many brilliant players online. There's just, you see them all who got stuck into everything and said, nah, there's no rules. You know?
Yeah, they're all tools in a toolbox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And what's the biggest myth in entertainment / music that you can debunk in 10 seconds?
That rock stars know anything about anything.
And my last question for the rapid fire is, what is the strangest compliment that you've ever received?
No, I have to come back to this one.
They've all been nice compliments, nothing too stressful?
No, nothing too stressful. Probably a few backhanded sort of compliments. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well,
you'll be fantastic one day. Maybe.
All right. Maybe we'll find out. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
Cool.